Hello, this is Lee with 82 Game of 12 here on Sons of Liberty 75, and I'm back with video number 2 of Eylau 1807. It's volume 1 of the Battles of Napoleon, produced by Sound of Drums. And you can find out more information about Sound of Drums at soundoffdrumsgames.com. And let's close in here a little bit. And the designer, Uwe Walentin. I hope I'm not gutting that pronunciation there, Uwe. And of course, talk about a couple of things here. We've got the dice, our Chessex dice that come with the game, and they've got this on the 6. It's of course Eylau 1807 with the French flag, and then you've got the Russian emblem there. I believe that's I'm sorry, that's still the eagle. Here we go. So it's like the Allied forces. You've got 3 of them that have their symbols are so similar. So with the birds, everybody's got birds. But let's see if we flip this over. It's the same thing on the back here. Here we go. Here's actually a colored image of it. It's some kind of black bird. Guess I need to look that up to see. It's got like a scepter in one hand, and then it's like a, I don't know, something with a little cross on it. So, and those are show possession of objectives, towns that you gain points for. This is 5 points here, and here's 5 points here. You lose depending on if you have possession of it, and then you lose it. Well, you're going to lose 5 cubes, fatigue cubes, army fatigue cubes. So, and those are all over here. And the Russians started with 220, and the French started with 210. The Russians have lost 3 artillery batteries. Early on, we just started this turn. This is the 8 o'clock turn, and then of course they lost. Let's see. Well, they lost 1 for each one of those. So, and there's a town right here where we've got this heavy fighting going on. That's worth 5, and got quite a few units that are taking losses. So that was the assault that St. Hilaire's 1st Division of the 4th Corps right here did just in the last video. So we're getting a good taste of how the mechanics play, the rules, also some differences, or I'll say uniqueness. Okay, not really differences, but uniqueness in this game system that I'm having a good time playing it, and I can compare it with many of the other game designs that I have, whether it be the Wellington versus Ney, Wellington's Victory with the same system from SPI, the Hexism Eagles system, and of course the Gamers Napoleonic Brigade system that I really like. Oh, and Viva la Emperor. which that's another system I like. And they all have their uniqueness. Okay, so. But I got really excited when they released the rules to be able to look at it, and then they had some other people on YouTube that got the game early to examine it and play it, give their thoughts about it. I really got excited about this with some of the uniqueness that, keep using that word, that is found in this system. So it's good to see something different, you know, and not seeing the same, you know, the same thing over and over, but you get some different things that are used to simulate morale, army fatigue, losses, and so forth. So, all right. So I want to just briefly talk about. We've got a giveaway here of 3 sets of Chesic Polyhedra 7-dice set. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to give those 3 away. And in the last video, I don't know how many videos it's going to be, but in the last video, I will ask a question concerning something that I discussed and some information that I provided in one of the other videos. Okay, could be something I said in the first video. It might be something in this video. It might be something in the next video. But it might even be something I say in the last video. But and I'll tell you in the last video, I'll tell you, well, this is how you supply your answer. I want to be able so that when you supply your answer, other people can't look and say, oh, okay, that's what I'm going to use that answer, you know. Because what I'll do is all the people that have the correct answer, I'll put them in their names in a cup and shake it up, and I'll draw 3 names out, and you know, I'll try. Probably do that live, you know, and I might even do a live session at some point. I tried doing a live session, and it ended up with no sound, and that was in when I was doing the Julius Caesar set. I don't remember what video number it was, but it had no sound. And so I was a little discouraged with that, and I'm glad I didn't. It wasn't a very long video, so I've got to iron that out. One thing with that video, I wasn't able to magnify in, or, you know, get close to the counters and then pull back, and so I was just stuck with one setting. So, but there we go. So far, I wanted to talk about, and I moved these up, hoping that they would be off the glare on the map. And I don't know where to see, but I've got a little post here. Sound of Drums. We developed and published thrilling historical board, and then the games got cut off there. But board games, so. And you find information about them at soundofdrumsgames.com. They've got their Twitter link. They've got their Facebook link. That actual page is under construction right now. But you can get to that page, and then you can find the other locations, their other platforms. So check it out. They've got more games than just Eylau 1807. And this is this is an independent company. It's not, you know, it's not GMT, you know, with all that, you know, support and, you know, people, I guess, there to help develop games and so forth. So give them some support. Go check out what they got. You might find something that you want to buy. And I already am saying, if you don't have Eylau 1807 and you're a Napoleonic Grenard, you need to have it. So it's a game. Whoa! It's a game that you need to have. So go to soundaddrumsgames.com and check them out. And of course, we want to talk about Chessex. Okay, they're a lot more than dice. Okay, and that just shows an example of one of their pages on the platform there. You go to chessex.com and you can find out information about what they've got. And I've got a lot of their dice. I don't think I've ever went online. I've got their dice from local comic book stores or game stores, or even traveling around. Go to the DFW, Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex, and I go to different places there, game stores and comic book stores, and you know, I'm that's one of my vices is dice. I see some dice that maybe a color I don't have or something unique, and I'm like, oh, I gotta have that, and I'm buying it, and it's like, what am I buying all this dice for? So anyways, check them out. They've got a lot more than just dice, dice towers, other things, bags, and all kinds of different things for your dice. So go check them out and see what they got. And so that's it. That's chessex.com, and then we got soundaddrumsgames.com. Go check them out. Now, I know I brought this up, but somebody, you know, I think I had somebody, Uwe might have said, hey, you know, about this tally stick, but I know it's got to be a European thing, and you know, I think it's got to be with just, you know, helping you keep track of you know, when you're counting I don't know, there's negative numbers here. On this side, there's negative, you know, goes all the way down to, you know, starts at 10. This side here is all positive. So it's, you know, you start at like negative 10, and then you go down to all the way up to 15, and you flip it over, and then you go from the bottom goes up. Here it goes down, or it goes, the top number is lower than the bottom, and this side, the bottom is lower than the top. But, you know, it's got, like I said, I don't think I've ever used one of these with a war board game. Now, I'm not knocking it. I'm just like, well, I'm just curious about how am I using it, you know? And I know each player has one, so it might be just for keeping track of numbers for some reason or other. But, you know, throw something out there in the comments. It gives you an excuse to give me a comment, and it's an excuse for me to ask for one. You know, I don't ask for likes or, you know, I do like to have comments. I may not get to them right away. I know I had some people that made some comments in some earlier games that especially the Herman Luttman Civil War series that I've been doing. They made some comments, and you know, I finally got to them, and I apologize if you know, I made you feel like I was ignoring your comment. Sorry, I got to it though. Sometimes I delete the YouTube. What is it called? It's that YouTube app that helps with your videos and all that kind of stuff. I delete it a lot of times because I got to free up space on my phone. I've got an older iPhone, and you know, I'm just getting off on other stuff here. Let's get going. It's 13:56 already gone by, and it's like, what have you done? Nothing. People want to go. They want to get in here and let's see what's going on. All right, so the Russians had started with 8 activation cubes, and the French 10. So far the French have used 5. Now, the French really only needed 6 because if we look, let's see if I can block that. If we look closer, I'm going to have to take a different angle here. Okay, so we look across here. They've only got 2 divisions that are attacking. Everybody else is holding or defending. So when you defend, you can move 1 hex. So, you know, I could possibly do that with someone. I did pay an army fatigue to do the defend, but that's what we've got. Now with the French, the Russians up there, go a little higher. Okay. They've got two divisions that are on the move, and of course they've got quite a few that are defending, and the rest of them are holding. So they've only got really two units that are going to be really actively doing anything. The rest, but like I said, the defenders, the ones that have the defend order, they can move one hex, okay, but they can't move adjacent to an enemy unit. So that's where we're at. We're ready to draw another cube, and you may see some of these smaller cubes, okay, come on the board. These are not part of the game, okay. These do not come with the game. They're not required to play the game. I use them so that you know precisely what units, okay, that I'm rolling for or attacking, defending, so forth. That's the only purpose, okay, for these. They didn't come along with the Julius Caesar set either. I used them for my watchers, people that come to watch the videos. I use that for identification, okay? So if you see that on the board, just know that that's not part of the game, okay? I include it for my videos, okay? If I was playing, I wouldn't be using, well, I could possibly use that against somebody face to face, just so that I'm identifying, who specifically is attacking. This game doesn't have those type of counters that you would use, that you would put like other games. For example, the Julius Caesar series I was doing, you have the shot must check or shot no check markers that you put, so when you have quite a few units attacking. Here you're going to just be using divisions, unless you have the grand charge that Marais performed. So that could happen, and we'll talk about that too. The guard, what you need to move the guard and to activate them and so forth. So let's draw a cube and get started here. 18 minutes in, and what are we doing? All right, so it's gonna be the Russians. They get to activate, and I've got over here, I could be looking at these units that that I use to defend, and I could possibly use what is that? Bagrat, and he has. Let me find him. He's got a defend order. Okay, so if I wanted to possibly bring some of those units back in a position to defend, I could do that. Now, a unit has to stay, to be in command, they've got to stay within 4 hexes of their divisional leader. Okay, all those units are. Okay, so let's take a look. We've got, let's see here. I'm looking for if they put the, no, I was thinking they might have put somewhere, they put what the different orders were. That's not included. And I'm using rulebook version 1.3. I know Uwe had mentioned that they're working on version 1.4, where they were looking at some input from players that were, sending in, different thoughts and maybe some corrections here or there or suggestions, so forth. So I know that that's being worked on. So, it's great to have the living rules. So, all right. So order-wise, let's see what it says about defense. Okay, a defend order. Units may move one hex and may not move adjacent to enemy units. Units of a division under defend order may fire during the simultaneous fire segment. Defend order gives an army no IPs and costs one army fatigue point. So you can move one hex, you can still fire, but you cannot move adjacent to the enemy. So that is what I'm going to do here, because we've got this issue. So I'm going to put that on Bagovat, and so we've got, let's see here, this unit here is going to move into this village hex. Same thing with Bagarat, but when they do, they've got to flip over. And this is, let's put this guy on top. Well, I'll tell you what, we might just do it. Let's see here. I think I'll put this guy here. This guy. Let's see. I think he's going to fall back to here, so he would be able to turn, go there, and of course turn back. So, and of course he's going to step back from the front lines here. This guy here is going to move to here. Got to move kind of underneath that, because it doesn't stay down. I've got to put like a weight on there, and even when I do that, it really doesn't. And that kind of distracts. I really don't like doing that, because it kind of distracts from, and he's going to be halfway on, halfway off, so it really doesn't matter. But I want to turn him like that. I just have to put him underneath. I mean, let's just move this here out of the way. Okay, so they can move one hex. This guy here is going to move up. Of course, I'm going to move him back. They can move 12. So he's going to move to there. He's going to move back here, and this guy's going to move to right there. So, and of course the cavalry units back there, they got pushed back. When a unit, now it says they can only move one hex, but if a unit is out of, or is beyond the order range, I believe they would move back in up to where the range is. Let's see here. It should be under. Okay, so a unit must be. This is under orders. Let me pull back here a little bit. So, and I've got the black and white copy here, but right here it says a unit must be within 4 hexes of the divisional leader to be considered to be acting under the division's current order. It may move outside this range, but if starting an activation out of range and moving, it must do so with the intention to end its movement within range of the divisional commander. Alternately, move the division commander in a way to make that unit within range again at the end of the activation. A unit that starts an activation outside its commander range can still participate in the simultaneous fire segment. So if you don't want to move the unit, then you would move your commander. So they would have to move, but I guess they only would move. They can only move one hex. So I guess they would just move one hex up. That's something that I guess I need to ask about. If you know, any kind of order any order that you're in, if you have units that are outside of that command range, would they not move? They would move more than the normal required movement or allowed movement to get back into command range. So I guess that would be a question to put forth to Sound of Drums. So but I'm just going to move it one hex. Okay. All right, so they are finished. Okay, so now we go right into the next cube. And the next cube is another green. So this will be the second green. And, you know, I could move Bhagavat again to move people in the position I want him in, to bring the cavalry closer. I've got so many over there that have defend orders. 3rd Division, Center Artillery, 2nd Division. Let's see where some of those guys are. Okay, so let me look here. All right, so the 2nd Division, pull back. Here's the 2nd Division. Here's the Center Artillery. They both have defend. 2nd Division, 3rd Division, okay, right here. They've got defend. Let's see. I've actually got more I got more cavalry here for Bhagavat. Right there. There's Bhagavat. He has 3 more. He's got 2 lancers. That other, I think, is line cavalry. Is that right? Or let's see what that symbol is. Hussiers. Okay, that's a Hussier. These are lancers. Lancers are they get a benefit, an attacking benefit. So you want to use those. So we got to decide: do we want to maybe I want to move. I don't have to worry about turning these guns because you get a free facing change, I think, of 1 vertex, 60 degrees, when the red cube is pulled. So that's don't need to worry about that. You would actually be just trying to move units. And let's see here. The left wing artillery, let's see, has a defend order. I could move them and be in a position. We might do that, but of course I would need to move What I'm looking at is I'm looking at these horse artillery that I have right here. Okay, so trying to think so this is the cube. So I'm thinking about these guns here. This is part of the left wing artillery reserve. So with defend orders, these units could actually move a hex, and of course they could change their stance from limbered to unlimbered. But I think I might need to. Well, I'm gonna have to move those cavalry units at some point. Whether they move back or I move them forward, but I think they need to be. The Russians need to be ready to use those. And of course, let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3. That's 4. So I've got 4 activations left, but I may not get to use them because you don't ever know. What 2 cubes are going to be remaining, and those are not used in the February the 8th. Anytime you have only 2 cubes remaining, they're not used unless they are red cubes, and then they're going to be pulled, and automatically you have the fire ramp activation. So you've got to think long and hard about what you need to do to react to what is happening around you, just like a regular commander. So this artillery, okay, they are under the command of Bennigsen himself. So he's the only one that can change their order. But artillery, they just need to defend order anyways. So, but what I need to do is I need to move. I think this is pretty vital. Here comes the French here. I need to move this horse artillery over here where these cavalry units are. So I'm going to activate this reserve. So I'm going to put that under it's the left wing. Okay, not this, that's the left wing artillery reserve. They're defend. Okay, so they can move 1 hex. And of course I can change their status from limbered to unlimbered. So I'm going to move them, and I'm just putting this here to identify where they're at. And I want to move them so they're in a position to be able to fire on these infantry units coming. And so they're gonna have to. These cavalry units are gonna have to. I think they're gonna have to wheel back around and help protect the flank over here. So I'm looking to activate Bagravat again. I should have been paying attention earlier on that I needed to do this. This horse artillery needs to be unlimbered and ready to fire. So they are going to move, okay, 1 hex, 1 hex, 1 hex, 1 hex. That's all they can do under defense. Okay, so that's what they did. They moved. All right, so now we're drawing another cube out, and I'm using a cup instead of a bag. I don't have a bag. I need to get one, but the cup works fine. I can't see in the cup, so I'm just reaching and pulling them out. And we pulled out a blue. So that means we are looking at, let's see, 1st Division can still activate. Now, one thing that I have to look at here is look again, is at the, I said keep one of the balls here. I've got some issues. I've rearranged this room, and I've got like stuff stacked here, stuff stacked there that I need to organize. And so that's what's going on here. I got stuff falling left and right. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Is there 2 of them here? There we go. Okay, so I wanted to look at this reaction charge. I remember I looked at it yesterday, and I believe it said they had to be under, in order to reaction charge, you had to be under a attack order. Okay, now a retreating cavalry unit retreats, the number of hexes equal to half. Okay, I retreated those units a full amount, so I've got to move them back. That's one thing I did wrong yesterday. Okay, I moved them a full, those back right back there. So, and you round up. So they both moved up one hex just now, due to being activated. So, okay, so I moved this one 9 back. So he should have only been 5. So that's 4 hexes. 1, 2, oops. He's got a loss. 1, 2. Okay, so he can 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll move him up there. And this one the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so those guys are moved back up. I can actually turn them like this. Okay, now let's back up here a little bit. Sorry. What I wanted to look at reaction charges. Bagravot is under a defend order. And I wanted to look at okay, so cavalry cannot charge in obstructed hexes, so that's one reason you want to get in obstructed hexes if you're infantry. I should have highlighted it. I need to start highlighting some of these specific things. It might have been under movement. Somebody might have to give me a shout out about it. Here, oh, where is that at? There's the mass cavalry charge on 16.2. But I remember seeing it and looking at it because I was like, well, okay, they can't reaction charge, but of course they can evade, but they don't want to evade if it's going to open up like in this situation where it's going to open up the the artillery piece there. So it's okay. I know it's in here. Okay, let's see if it's under this Cavalry 7.3. They talked about being tired. Okay. There's the information about forming square against cavalry. Okay, then you have artillery talk. You got stacking. You have movement. There's the fire combat. Where is, I thought it would be under, I thought it would be under cavalry, but okay, so under 22.1, okay, right here, okay, this has to do with assault, all right? Now, it says, okay, when a unit wants to enter an enemy-occupied hex, it must declare assault. Any unit that moves into the front hex of an enemy cavalry unit provokes a possible reaction charge if the formation of that cavalry unit is under attack order. So that the cavalry unit has to be under an attack order. If they're not, they can't reaction charge. So they would have to evade or stay there and, you know, possibly, you know, lose a step and get forced back. And since cavalry can't execute a defensive fire, it's going to go straight to the combat. So you really don't want, you know, you want your cavalry to be able to react, a reaction charge. So that means you're probably going to next turn, next hour, you're going to say, hey, I want my guys in attack order. So the French, of course, are going to use their activation cube right there. Saint Hilaire has got one activation left. Now that means that his units can only move, or their movement is restricted by 2. So they're gonna, these two units have a, instead of a 6, they got a 4 here, 4 here, and let's see, both of those guys are gonna be have a, what did I say, 2, so a 5. Okay, so and of course these units are gonna have to end up firing away from here because these guys are already going to be blocking that artillery unit. So and they want to attack, they want to move to attack. Now remember, it cost for the French to move adjacent to a Russian or Prussian unit. It cost an extra movement. So, you know, for this unit to go up this hill, that's going to be 1, 2, and then of course you got 3 for the hex, and then 4 for being next to it, to these units. So All right, so this guy is in that obstructed terrain, which is the village. Okay, and we want to be able to take that village. So these two guys are going to move right there. See, this is where this is getting kind of tedious. It's almost like, well, I wish I would have just left it off. But it helps to keep the map together. I need another piece of plexiglass, so I'll make it work. What can you do? These guys shouldn't be. These guys are like that. I can't activate these guys anymore. Okay, so they moved to there, and this guy's going to move to there, and then he's going to go into line. Okay. This guy's going to go there, changing the line, and then move there. So that would cost 1, and then 2, 3. Oh, wait a minute. If he goes to line, okay, he's going to be down to 2. Okay, so he couldn't. This guy could. Okay, so he'll just have to change the line right there, and then of course these guys are going right there, and they can. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how many movements they have. And look, of course, Eylau is going to move in here behind. All right. So this unit would have to evade going this way. He can't go through his own units. Okay, if he stays there, of course there's going to be defensive fire from these units. Well, I don't know, are they able to turn? I don't think they're able to turn. So they're getting attacked into their flank. They can't fire out of that flank. See, I think this is where possibly reaction charges can come from units that are in defend order. However, the rule here, it says any unit moves into the front hex of an enemy cavalry unit provokes a possible reaction charge if the formation of the cavalry unit is under attack order. So he's not under attack order. All right, so All right, so it does say, I'm looking, okay, I guess you don't have to assault. You know, you can pick which unit you want to assault. So I'm doing like, okay, I'm doing an assault right here, okay? And my target is these two artillery batteries, okay? Now I'm gonna have an assault over on the other side here with, and I'll use blue, okay? That one, okay, I need to put that over here. What do I do with mine? Okay. So those two are going to assault this stack here, or that unit in that village hex. But we're looking at the green and the red, and the thing that I want to make sure that I'm doing correctly is that this unit does not have to attack both of these. Okay, he can leave this one alone. Okay, and this is where possibly I would ask in this situation, would that cavalry unit, even though it's in defend, would it be able to countercharge or reaction charge? Okay, reaction charge. These units that are attacking these cavalry units when they're in the frontal hex of that unit. Okay, rules say that it has the cavalry unit has to have attack orders, so they cannot attack. So that infantry unit is free to attack those artillery units, and you can say, well, it's 150 yards. Okay, you know, they're just not exactly right next to each other. Okay, that occurs when they assault or charge. So, okay, and since these units cannot, they're being attacked in their flank, they cannot do a defensive fire. So we go right into the assault. All right. So let's look at the modifiers. Pull back here, and we'll take a look at the modifiers and so forth. Okay, so first we want to look at the strengths. Okay, before we do anything else. All right. So the attacker, that unit has one loss. So that's a 10 and an 8. So we're looking at 18, and these guys are 7. Okay, so it's 18 to 7, 2 almost 3 to 1. So I guess you would round it up, 21 and 18. So 3 to 1. All right. So let's pull back and look at the chart. Okay, so 3 to 1 is going to give a -2. Okay. All right, and so we go over to the defending unit. Okay. They are not elite. They're not green. They're Russian, so that's +1. So now we're at -1. Okay. Under defend order, that's +2. Okay. So now we're at +1. Okay. Okay, charged, or that I would say assaulted through the flank, okay, is -3. So now we're at -2. Okay. That's infantry. Artillery alone in a hex is -5. So now we're at -7. Okay. Assaulting charging unit. They didn't lose any SP. They're not elite. They're not green. They're not to cavalry short distance. Cavalry against infantry. Nope. Fatigue cavalry. Nope. Heavy against other cavalry. Charging, assaulting uphill. Nope. As leader present. Nope. So we're looking at what did I say? Plus or -7. So I don't think we're gonna have to worry too much about who's gonna win or lose that deal. And so French are gonna gain some more guns, I believe. Rolled a 7, which becomes a 0. Okay. The result is equal or below 8. The assaulted charged unit takes 1 step loss and retreats if assaulted by infantry. So because they're artillery, they can't retreat. They're not limbered. So both of those are lost. So that 2 more artillery units, plus it's 2 Army fatigue points that are lost, that are removed. Okay, and then of course I believe they're going to move. They can move into this hex, and so we've got that one done. Now we go over here to the other one. Okay, and here this unit is in a village hex. Okay, they are in column, so that's 8 and 7. That's 15, and here we've got 8 and 9. Okay, so we've got let's say 9 and 8, 17 and 15. That's 32. So we've got 32 to 4. Now let's take a look at the terrain. See how that might benefit him. But we do have to do. We got to do defensive fire first. So it doesn't look like there's any other benefit. It just says a +1 charge effect. It doesn't say assault, it says charge effect. So I don't know if that should say charge / assault effect. I think it should. Okay. And it might, if I look at that right here, it says charge effect, and then it says +1 die roll modifier. Cavalry cannot charge into. So if they can't charge into it, this has to apply to the infantry assault. Just like this here, it should I think say charging / assaulting. Okay, it says attackers are charging uphill. Okay. Charging / assaulting uphill. So, yeah, I think that should be a +1. And the number of firing strength points in the hex is half. So, okay, we look at the firing strength, okay, up here. So it's a maximum of 2 SPs. Okay. So he's got 4. No, actually he's got only, I think did he take a loss? No. Okay, he's got 4 there. So he's going to be at 4, but the most he can fire out of there is 2. So die roll modifiers, target is infantry in column. So what he has to do here is, since he has 2 attackers, he's going to have to fire 1 strength here and 1 strength there. That's the way the rules are. Okay, so we're having fire at this one first. So that's going to be a strength of 1, and he has a plus. Let's see, infantry in column would get a +2. Okay. Ooh, look at this. Look at that. Rolled 2 6s. So that's 12. Okay. And 2 more is 14. It's 1. So where's my tweezers? Okay. So what we do is we flip this over to 2. Okay. Which is now going to affect the assault. Okay. And so now we are going to fire at that unit with 1 strength. Dadgum, we rolled a 10 plus 2 is a 12. That's a hit there. So they were able to do some damage to the French there, attacking in column. All right, so now we move back up, And so now we've lost 2. So instead of being, 32, we're at 30. And he's got a strength of 4. So let's pull back now so we can look at the chart here. All right, so odds, you always round up. Okay, so 30 to 4, that's still like, what? Yeah, 7. Is that right? Yeah. 7 to 1. So it's going to be -3. Over here, defending unit. He's not green. He's not elite. He's Russian, so that's +1. So now we're at -2. He's under defend orders, so that's +2. So now we're at 0. He's in obstructed terrain, so he gets +2 there. Okay, and then down here, assaulting, we are going to lose. That should be, I think that should be a +1. Yeah, that should be a +1. I need to mark that. I need to get my pen out and mark that. That was corrected in the updated rules. So I know that because I can pull it out. Sure. Okay. So right there it shows a +1. And then of course you've got, here it shows charging or assaulting uphill. Okay. So, what I say, we're at +2, becomes +3. I guess it's going to be +3. +3. All right, we roll. All right, we rolled a 6 and a 1. That's 7. +3 is going to be a 10. So that's going to be just a flat out hold your ground. Oh, wait a minute. 6, yeah, 7. That'd be 10. So the defender holds. Both attacker and defender stay in their hexes. So everybody stays. Now I do need to check. Okay, we had some units that were eliminated. Okay, so I forgot to do that. So right here. Okay, this unit and this unit were, they were both behind or beside those artillery units when they got eliminated. So I have to roll. They're Russian, they get a +1. Adjacent front of unit is eliminated, that's -2, so we're at -1. Okay, there's no enemy cavalry nearby. So it's gonna be a -1. Okay, so 2 dice. Okay, so we'll do the orange first. All right, so we got a 3 and a 1 is 4. Okay, so it says they would lose a step and retreat. But because they're not limbered, they are just removed, which is then going to force the next artillery units to check. So these guys are gone. The Russians lose another cube. All right, now let's roll for the cavalry. Okay, and so it's going to be a -1. Is what I believe it's going to be. So rolled a 9, -1. Okay, that doesn't affect them. Okay, but we do have to roll now for these other two. Okay, and let's see here. If the top unit, let's see if I can find that. Check the stand. Okay, it says each unit in a stack checks individually, so, but we do have to check. All right, so see, those units are not, they're not green. I think they're heavy. Those are heavy. Losing some important artillery there. They're Russian, so they get a +1, but an adjacent friendly enemy unit was eliminated, so -2 becomes a -1. Enemy cavalry's not close. So the top one, turn that just a bit. There we go. I rolled a 6, 7. -1 becomes a 6. So there, that one's gone. Oops. I just jerked it. Okay. That's another cube. Okay, the horse artillery unit, we rolled a 4, so they're going to be gone. So nobody's adjacent, but there they went. So that's another cube. So far, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 batteries have been eliminated. 8 batteries. And I'm going to verify that artillery that are not limbered, when they are forced to retreat, are going to be just eliminated. Okay, it says unlimbered artillery units that are forced to retreat, even if stacked with infantry units, are eliminated. They do not retreat. So basically those guns, those batteries get what's the term? Spiked. So the guns are spiked. Okay. And so that's where we're at. All right, so that activation is over. All right, so pull another cube. And this time it's a green one. All right, so we're going to activate that left wing artillery right there. These guys right here, these horse artillery guns, batteries, they're going to activate. And so what they're going to do is they are unlimbering. Like that. Of course, this unit's going to move here and unlimber. This unit here is going to move here and unlimber. And they've moved. And let's see, how many did they have? Yeah, 7, so they had plenty. They had 7, but because they'd already moved, they only have 6. So, all right, they're prepared to fire on that French unit if we get a red cube drawn. And we don't. We get another green. The reds are being stubborn. They don't want to come out of the cup. So, okay, so we don't need to move the left wing artillery. I need I think I'm gonna move I want to move Bagabot. Okay, I'm gonna move him again. Activate him. They have defend orders. Okay, so I'm going to, let's put that over here. So they can only move 1 hex. So this unit is going to move into here, which is the woods. Okay. This unit's moving here. This unit is moving here. Okay. These guys can't move adjacent, so they couldn't even move in to assist that guy. So they just basically have to just stay where they're at in these positions. So, okay, so that's all that we did there. All right, we get a blue. Okay, now I've already activated the 1st Dragoon Division, and I've already activated the 1st Division of the 4th Corps 3 times, so those guys can't do anything. Now, what I can do is maybe some of these guys that have the defend orders, I can move them, kind of slide them into where maybe I want to go with some of these. So, I'm thinking about possibly maybe moving some, another one, like maybe move Grouchy, his division, over to support this Napoleon's right flank. That, or maybe we need to start thinking about our left flank over here that might get exposed, and so I might have to move some units over to protect the flank. So I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to activate. Let's see what Laval. Okay, he's got the 2nd division of 4th, and he's got a defend order. Why are they? Okay, red. Looking for blue for some reason. All right, so he's got this 2nd division here, and so he's going to move these units here. This guy's going to move and then flip like that. This guy's going to move and flip over the line right there. And then he's got okay, these 2 guys are going to move right there. Okay. I think he's on the artillery. No. So he. Okay, let's see. These guys they're in a position where they could fire. Okay, this guy's going to move here. This guy there. Do we want to move up there? I think we're going to hold. Don't really want that, because shouldn't that move that guy up? I want to move this artillery unit up. Of course, he wants to be underneath. So they're both in move order. All right, and I'm gonna put him right there. All right, so that's that activation, and so that's the 2nd Division. Okay, next. Uh-oh. What do we got? We got the simultaneous fire activation. So now we get to see what that's going to be like. So we're going to start on the north end of the map and work back. Okay, so we're going to start here to see what we've got. All right, so this is the red activation and simultaneous fire. So we're just going to work across. So let's get some cubes here. All right, so these units here don't have any. This guy doesn't have anybody to fire at. I don't think he's. Those are going to be light. So they were like this. Light has a range of 6. I believe he's light. His markings show. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, light has that line. Okay. Over on the left-hand side, thin line. Horse artillery, field artillery doesn't have a line at all. The heavy will have a big thick line onto the right. They're in the color section with the showing the image for the guns. Okay, so you can see that that's a light, which means he has a range of 6. Light has a range of 6, so he could fire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's out. He doesn't have everybody in range. Now this unit here, they're light also, but they have. Let's say, okay, it's only that top unit. Okay, so he can only fire out of these 2 front hexes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's a target. So he's got to fire at this guy. So, all right. So we've got. This is him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So let's take a look. Pull out our fire combat table. The target is in just a open or clear terrain, so no effect on fire combat. Okay, effective range. Okay. Okay. Horse artillery, not light artillery, have a range of 6. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The range of 5 is strength points times 1. So he's got strength of 2. So he's going to be firing with 2. Die roll modifier. Target is infantry. Nope, he's in the line. So no bonus there. So it's just going to be strength of 2. So he's going to have an 11 or 12 roll. And he got a 6. Okay. So now we're going to use these smoke markers. Okay, which help to tell us who's fired, and they've got a 1 on one side and a 2 on the reverse side. So I need to look to see specifically what that's for. Let's see here. We just have to go over to the fire combat. Okay. Okay, so it just says remove all the smoke markers. So I guess possibly that is going to be for maybe future games where you would need the to designate that maybe the smoke was there last activation and now, or last turn, and now it's maybe something's burning or whatever. But that lets us know, okay, that unit is fired. Okay, so now we want to go over to the French side, okay, and we're looking for a unit over here that, and I'm going to put this, right now I'm just going to set it, I'll just set it right there out of the way. Okay, so we've got these, okay, this, okay, he can't fire. This unit here, oh, there's no artillery unit there. Okay, so now we need to look to see where we've got some guns. I don't know, what are these guys? Okay, they're just there for protection, I guess. He's got his, but it's over here, but it's limbered. So, and we don't have anybody right away, okay, that can fire. Although we should go, back and forth. Well, no, this guy right here. Okay, what am I doing? Right here. Okay, he can fire. Now, who do we want to fire at? We fire at these guns. Just try to disrupt them. They're going to be blasting us here shortly. So, yeah. That or fire these artillery units, but he wants to fire right, let's see, he can fire right here. He's going to fire right here at these guys. I don't know why I didn't. See, yeah, this other one was not. Okay, limbered. This guy was already limbered because he's on that, he's already up on that higher terrain. So, all right, so he's going to fire there, and that's a range, and he is he's field artillery. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, field or foot. It says foot here, so I guess foot and field are the same. He has a range of 8. So the range 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just going to be strength point times 1, so that's going to be 2. So, and let's see here. Target is artillery, so -3 to the die roll. Maybe I should have fired on some. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do anything. -3 is, if I even roll a 12, that's going to be nothing. So, that's a waste there. I don't even need to fire there. Let's fire at this guy here. Let's hit the front here. We don't want to just fire when we know, hey, we can't. There's no use to even, we can't even cause the unit not to even fire. So we're going to hit that infantry unit there. All right, so that's changed. So now we have a range of 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we get to double our strength points. So now we're going to be at 4. The target, he's in line though. So no other modifiers. So we're at 4. Rolled a 6. That's a miss. Okay, so we put a smoke marker. We go back to the Russian side. Okay, and we go back over here. Okay, and we've got some guns right here. Okay, there's 2 there. They're light, and the only one that they're going to have a target on is going to be right here, which has some infantry. So they are firing here. Okay, That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, he's out of range. Yeah. Okay, so he's out of range. So he can't fire. Okay. All right, so we'll move up to here. This unit here is going to fire here. And this is, what do we got? We got 7, and they're heavy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 4, it's just going to be 1 SP times 1 SP. So 7. And, okay, the target, there's infantry there. And the infantry is in line. Okay, so no modifier. So it's just going to be a strength of 7. Terrain, he's in clear, so no effect there. All right, we rolled 7 and 7. That's a miss. Okay. All right. This guy, he doesn't have anybody he can fire at. Let's see, I think we're gonna have to go way over here to find another French unit I can fire, which is gonna be this unit here. Okay. And let's see here. His of course, this is key. Prior to firing, a unit can rotate. So if I didn't want to fire here, okay, straight ahead, I could rotate to fire there. And I think that's what he's going to do. But, you know, he can only fire, you know, he's not going to be able to fire over here because this unit's in his way, but he'll be able to fire at this guy or this guy. So he's going to go here. But again, I think that's all artillery. So I don't want to really just fire at the artillery because this unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, and there's only what, 2 there. He doesn't have any chance of doing any damage. So I think he's just got to, you know, he's going to have to try to fire there. Let's see how far that is. Oops. Keep bumping into my own units here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He can just barely, well, no, he's got a range of 8. So he can reach there. All right, those guys are in column. Okay. So he's got a range of, long distance, 6 plus. It's going to be half of his strength points. So he's only got 2, so it's going to be 1. Okay. But he does get a +2 due to the infantry being in column. But that's not going to be enough. He rolled a 4, becomes a 6. That's not enough. So put the smoke marker on him, and we go back to the Russians, who are going to be over here again. And it's going to be this one now. And they're just firing at the only target they have, which is right here. And let's move this. And of course, there's artillery and that infantry unit there. So that's, let's see. We got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Range of 4. Okay, just it's going to be 7 strength, and he's in line, so it's just going to be a 7. And we got 6 and 1 is 7. 7, not enough to do any damage. Okay, so this unit was fired. Okay. Let's cover this back up for now. All right. Now we move along Back over here to the French side, looking for an artillery unit that can fire, and we find these two guys here. And they are field artillery or foot artillery. No, they're horse artillery. That one's a horse artillery. And this one is field artillery. So maybe some of those others were horse. I don't think so. It's this one here. Yeah, he's just field. Okay, so we've got a horse artillery and we've got a foot. Okay, so as long as they can reach 6, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, he can't. All right, so let's see if he could fire at someone else. Yeah, there's one. So, but he's not. He'd have to turn like this. So we could do that. We can turn. Okay, and we're gonna fire here. There's an infantry unit there in line, but he's there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be at half strength. So we're going to be at 2. And we don't get any bonuses or anything. 8. No, you got to have an 11. So, all right. So that unit. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. This unit's smoked. All right, so now we go back over here where these guns are. And they're firing back at the same target. So, units in different hexes have to fire separately. Yeah, it says units in different hexes may fire at the same target, but don't combine their fire strength. They fire individually. So a target may be fired upon more than once in the same fire segment. So those guns are not going to be able to combine fire to really exploit their effectiveness. So here we're firing at this infantry unit here. All right, so that's a range of 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is heavy. So that's 6. 6 into 4. It's just going to be 1 SP. So, but we have a strength of 6, and that guy's in line. So, okay, we don't have any modifiers. All right, so we rolled a 7. That's going to be a miss. He's going to have at least an 8 to get a hit. So, put a smoke marker there. All right. So now we move along. And we will have some firing going on. Over here on this other side. Okay, so for the French, the next one that they have is really, I want to work here and then go up to here. So these guys are going to have to turn. They can't fire over, well, they might, to see, where's he at? He might be able to fire might be able to fire right through here. Okay, but I don't think so. Let's see. This is his two front axes, so he would have to turn like so, and then he could fire right there at that cavalry unit, those lancers. So that's what he's going to do. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is going to be half of his strength point. So instead of 2, before he's going to be at 2. Oh, heavy artillery gets a +1. So should have been a hit over here. Because I rolled, I'm just going to hesitate here, go back. I did not add the +1, and I rolled a 7. So right here, to just show you, here's 2 heavies. They get a +1. I probably should have had 2 hits. But I'll just take the 1. But that would have been a +1, which would have made that an 8. So we gotta have a hit to this artillery unit right here. All right. So there. All right. So, but this unit's not heavy. Okay, he's just foot, field, artillery, and so he has a strength of 2, and it doesn't look like there's any modifier for firing at cavalry. I know some other games have said, okay, there's a plus something for firing, especially artillery firing at cavalry, just because they're more of a target, they're a bigger target. Okay, it's kind of like firing at infantry in column, but I don't believe there's. Let's see if the updated rules have anything there. Well, no, I don't have. Looks like I don't have. I only have the assault charge table. I wonder how come. Maybe there wasn't any change on the other one. So, yeah. Okay, so there's not showing any modifiers. So, so that's 2, and I'm gonna have to get, I think an 11. Let's see, yeah, 11 or 12. 7, that's gonna be a miss. So, not a very good chance of hitting there. All right, so now we go back to the Russians here, and so these guns fired, and now we go to these guns here. These guys, they don't have any targets. This guy's on a hill, so he could actually, he's higher up than these guys. Okay, so you can see that little knoll. It's a little knoll there. So he could fire over. They are both light, so they only have a range of 6, but this guy's in range. So, and I do have to look at the line of sight rules just to verify whether or not I can fire. Okay, line of sight. If the target, okay, if the target is on a lower level, the line of sight is blocked if the blocking terrain is closer to the target, and it's not. It's closer to the firing unit. And what you're saying? Well, what blocking? Well, his own units. Okay, his own units. So he can fire over those units to fire here. So we've got a range of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, which should just be our normal. But he's going to get that modifier. So 5 is just 5 is, I've got to plug up my phone. I'm fixing to run out of juice here. Okay. So 5 is going to be medium distance. So strength points times 1. So it's going to be 4. And the target is in a column, so that's plus 2. So we're on the 4, and we're get a plus 2. I rolled a 4 and a 1's 5, so it becomes a 7. I think that's going to be a miss. So, okay. All right. Okay. Back to the French. French are going to run out of, and it's just going to be, then it's just going to be the, Russians fired. All right, so these guys here, okay, are going to fire at these Lancers. Now, here, the Lancers would be able to evade, but I don't believe they can evade through their own units. You know, you're not allowed to move unless you force them to move. Let's see. I know when you retreat you can, but I don't think, there it is. Okay, I don't think they can force their own units to move. Let's see. Cavalry units may always evade by retreating 1 hex if an enemy infantry or artillery unit is in an adjacent hex at the beginning of the simultaneous fire signal. If an enemy infantry unit moves adjacent, or if the opposing player declares a charge. So I'd have to do it actually at the beginning, but he's got to be adjacent. Okay, it says that an evading cavalry unit may not end its evasion in a hex adjacent to an enemy unit, but must continue the evasion until it reaches a hex not adjacent. Okay, an evading cavalry may evade into an obstructed hex via a road and becomes tired. It says evasion doesn't trigger opportunity fire. So I guess he could actually evade. And he could actually evade, but he should have done this at the beginning. And how he evades is there's no opportunity fire, so that means he can move here, to here, and then here. Okay, and then he evaded. So that's what he does. And I should have done that at the beginning. Looked across and said, okay, who wants to evade? All right, but I didn't. So now I know. So do you. All right, so we're going to fire at this unit here that's in this village hex. Okay. Part of Bagovat. Okay. And these guys are in columns, so the most that I can fire out of there is a strength of 2. Okay. So this is what we got. Yeah, I can pull that down some. There we go. No, this didn't work. Okay. So infantry line. No, column maximum is 2. Okay. Target is obstructed terrain. That's a -3. Well, I don't believe I'm going to be able. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do any damage. Even if I roll a 12, a -3 is going to get a go to 10. So and fire combat effect. Woods and village cemetery. It says number of firing SPs in the hex is times 0.5 plus 2 die roll modifier if target is in the hex. Plus 2. I think that should be a -2. But up here at the DRM it says -3. I think that's a mistake. but I don't have the fire combat side of the updated rules. I don't know why. But maybe I have them on my phone or something. I'd have to look it up. I'm gonna check that. So, okay, so he's not gonna be able to do anything. The other guys are not gonna be able to do anything, so there's no use having them fire. So, we'll have to go back to the Russians and just go across what they're firing. All right, so that's what we're going to do, and that's going to start right here. So the next one is going to be these guys here. That's heavy, okay? And one thing is they could actually turn, okay, like this, and they could fire right there on that guy. Or they could fire here on this guy and in this village. I think they got a better shot at firing at this guy here. But let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. 4. Well, either way, this guy's he's in obstructed terrain though. So yeah, they're going to turn and they're going to fire. I think right there. So they get a +1 though. Maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I just want to fire right here. I think I'm just going to fire right here on this guy. Okay, so range 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It's going to be times 1. So we might be 8 instead of 4. What are we doing? Yeah, 8. Wow. Okay, so 8. Target in an obstructed terrain, that's -3. Heavy artillery, so that's +1, so it's at a -2. Roll to 6 becomes a 4. Not effective. All right. This unit here is going to fire at this unit here. Just put it right here. Okay. So we've got, this is heavy. That's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to stay at 8. And he's going to be in the open, and he's in line. So it's just going to be straight up 8, but he gets a +1 because he's heavy. Oh crap, we got 3, 4. Dang. We're just not rolling very good here for our artillery. So that one's done. Next one. We don't want to fire on that artillery, it's kind of useless. Yeah, he could fire here. Those guys are in column. Let's see. So he's heavy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, that's going to make him at half. But he's in column. That's a +2. But half. Yeah, I think we're better off doing that. So he's gonna fire there. So we've got, let's see how many we got. Okay, so that's 8. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's heavy. He can go all the way up to 9, but it's at half his strength point. So instead of being at 8, he's at 4. Okay, now these guys are in column, and he's heavy. So that's +1 for heavy, and +2 for target is in column. So we got a pretty good chance here with a +3. All right, we rolled an 8. It becomes an 11. Yeah, it's a hit, which is what we want to do. We want to grind them down. It's the Russians. Use that artillery to really grind them down. Okay, so now we need a smoke marker. Some may say, well, that's a little tedious to have to put those smoke markers on, but what it does is it just helps you to manage. It's part of managing the firing. So these guys, this guy is light. I don't think he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he's out of range. This guy here is light. I don't think he's out of range though. 5, 6. Okay, so he goes to here. Okay, but he's going to be at half his strength points. Well, he's at 2, so he's going to be at a 1. And that unit is in line, so there's no benefit. So we're going to have a high roll, and we got a 7, which is not high enough. So, yeah, it's better off to stack. You can put 2 artillery units in a stack, so it's best to stack those artillery units. You know, I guess if you want to protect them, you can put a infantry unit underneath them. But let's see here. Okay, the next one is going to be here. Now, this is his arc right here, but they can rotate before they fire. So he is going to fire into these French infantry units in column there, and that's a range of 1, 2, 3. Range of 3 is going to be double his strength, so he's 6. That's horse artillery. So double is 12 strength, and he's in column, so that's going to be a +2. I rolled a 9, it becomes an 11 under 12. That's going to be 2 hits, so he should be at 3, I think. Yep. And it's not divided evenly among the units. It's the top unit that takes the hit. You know, makes sense because he's the one that's in the front, you know. All right, so he got blasted there. Now he's going to get blasted again because right here, these guys 6, and they're even closer. They're only 2 hexes away. Okay, 2 hexes away. It's still going to be double. So he's also going to be firing with a strength of 12. And they get a +2. Okay, again, rolled a 10, becomes a 12. 12 on the 12 column. Ooh. That's going to be 3 hits and a asterisk, which means we have to have a stand roll. So first we take the 3 hits, so he's now taking, he's going to get 6. What's the 6? There's 1. Which means he's only got 3 steps left. Alright, now he's got to roll to stand. Well, actually both of them do. Alright, so I'll just show you here on the fire chart. Alright, so there were 6 strength points and they were doubled, so you go to the 12 column, and then I rolled a 10, but because he's in column, that's +2, so we go to 12, we go across, there it is, 3 plus the asterisk. Okay, now the asterisk, there should be a really they should have put an asterisk down here and then said, you know, roll to stand. Okay, but in the rules it tells you that if you get an asterisk, it's a roll to stand. So maybe it's just repetitive. So here's the roll to stand, and of course it tells you, okay, if you suffer an asterisk. So all right, so those units are not green or elite, they're not Russian, They're not adjacent to friendly units, eliminated or retreating. They're not in obstructed terrain. Or in square. Enemy cavalry units within 3 hexes. Yes. Right here. So that's going to be -2. Okay. So we roll the dice. If it's 6 or less, they lose a step and they have to retreat. Okay. And we have to do that for both of the units. So we have a -2. I rolled 7. That's a 5. Of course, he's going to lose a step and retreat. And of course, then we have to roll for the other unit. So this guy's going to lose a step. So he's now at 7. And he's retreating. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to go to there. All right. Now the other unit. Okay. Now I'm just going to add the modifier. Okay. He has to roll also, but the modifier is okay. An adjacent friendly unit is eliminated. Okay. So that's a -2 more. So he's going to have a total of -4 on his die roll. And of course, I rolled a 4, so that's a 0. So he's going to take a loss, and he's going to have to retreat. Well, no, that guy only went 4. He'd actually have to go 6. I think he has to go his full movement. Yeah. Retreats a number of hexes equal to its printed MP. So I guess you're just moving hexes and not counting terrain. So he'd go to 2 more back here. And then this guy do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so that's where they both end up. Pretty dangerous to be too close to that artillery. Okay, so I think the only fire that we have left, okay, is going to be, I'll move over here, right here at the village. Okay, so we've got this unit here. And he can fire. He's going to have to split his fire up. And I'll just put orange here for the other. Okay. So he has a strength of 4. Let's see here. Chart. Let's see. He's in obstructed terrain. So he's got a maximum of 2 strength points. So one is going to have to go to the red units, and then the other one will have to go to the orange. Okay. Those guys are both in columns, so that's going to be a +2. So strength of 1, and the first one against the red, we rolled a 4, 5, 6 is not going to be enough, and then the other one, orange, we fire. And we've got a 9, 10, 11. It's still not enough. No, yeah. He had to get a 12. So, all right. So that should end the fire activation. So this goes back over here into that there, and we pull back. And then what we do is we remove the smoke markers, because that activation is over. So just have to go through here and take these off all the way across. Now, I don't mind having to remove these because they help with there's not going to be any argument if you're playing face to face about, who hasn't fired yet? You know. Just have to put that there. Put that there. You got to really stack these counters pretty orderly into the counter tray in order for them to all fit. But you can. I did it. But then when I'm putting it back, I'm just kind of like, lazily sliding it in there. So, okay, so we've removed all of the smoke markers. Okay. So that gives you an example of how the simultaneous fire combat works. And I think it was fairly easy to go through. And what that does is you've got to try to plan for unexpected things to happen, which during a battle, it's chaos. It's not going to be orderly. And so this simulates the simultaneous fire combat cubes. There's 2 of them. That's what it simulates, okay? The chaos on the battlefield. That, you don't have much control over what's going on besides your men. But then, your men may not do exactly as you want. You may be wanting them to fire, like your orders are, hey, you need to, lay down your fire here. And you're wondering, well, what are they waiting on? Where's the fire at? Why are the cannons not firing? And then all of a sudden, boom, 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 there they go off. So, boom, boom, boom. I went to in Albany, Texas. They've got a Frontier Days, and they had one time when I was teaching, I took students there, and we were able to stand right there by some cannons that they were firing. Of course, they were not firing live ammo. They were just firing, the wad. But I'm telling you, that experience, man, that was the air around you reverberates, and to experience live shelling, I can't imagine what. Having a solid ball of metal coming at you, or the iron or steel, whatever it is, coming at you, had to be very not only disheartening, but would shake you to your core. And for soldiers to face that and not just audibly turn and run as far away as possible, just kind of amazement that they could stand there as the comrades are getting torn to pieces from whether it be shrapnel, whether it be grape shot, a ball and chain, or 2 balls and chain, or even just solid shot, coming at you. And so, of course, there were many, not only, like privates or lower level men that got mauled by artillery, but also commanders as well. So, what is it? Wagram, or Bagram, I guess is what it's pronounced. Bagram. Lawns gets part of his leg blown off and dies. I think it blew off part of his lower leg. I think he's just sitting somewhere, and he's just taking a break or whatever, sitting there. And as he's sitting there, a cannon ball comes along and takes part of his leg off, and he just, I guess, loses too much blood. And that was a pretty big loss for Napoleon. Not only Lons being a close friend, personal friend, but also his leadership. So, what is it? Marengo or Marengo is where Lons kind of gains fame. Okay, so we didn't talk about that, but of course, let's see. He hasn't passed yet. That's in the future. That's in 1809. So it's like, where's Lons at? He's not here. I'm gonna have to look that up. Find out where Lons was at. This is 1807. He's killed in 1809, when Napoleon's got his campaign against Charles, the Austrians. So, I have to look this up to find out. Maybe he's ill or something. Okay, so let's see how many cubes we've got. All right, so we've got 3 French and 2 Russian and 1 more red. So let's keep going here. Been going for 2 hours, but I want to see if we can finish this turn in this video. I'm getting addicted to this Dunkin' Donuts caramel flavored coffee. Comes in a little bag that you just brew your own. But I'm drinking it iced, and I'm enjoying it. So, all right. So we've got a French cube pulled. And I think what I want to do here is I'm going to activate did we want to activate Le Grand, maybe. Excuse me. Let's see here. I think I've got there's 3 cubes, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna be able to get. Yeah, I've got, after this one, there's 5 cubes left in this cup, and one of them's red. So if the red is pulled, then after 2 more cubes, that's it. 2 are going to be left. So I got to figure out who do I want to, maybe move here. We got Joseph over here that I could move off this plateau here. What am I going to do here? That, or I could try to position Lavelle and get his men maybe positioned a little bit. I think I want to get this over here. I'm gonna move Joseph's troopers here. This marsh, I think. Okay, it says no charge into or out. Okay. So they can't charge into or out of that stuff. So that stuff is pretty much going to block part of what they can do. Infantry could come over around, so I would want to keep some of the cavalry units in a position to keep the flank, but then be ready to charge in. So maybe I don't want to move him. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move Legrand right here. So Legrand is who I'm going to move. I want to move his units, and they're in. Let's see, Legrand is in a. He's the third. They're in defense, so they can move one hex, and so if this guy gets down here, he can't be. Excuse me. He can't be fired on, I don't think, because this terrain is closer to him. Excuse me. Okay, so this unit is going to move here. Same thing. He flips and moves here. Okay. Now maybe he's going to move here. I'm going to leave that guy there. That's what we're going to do. That way this guy moves on top like this. This guy moves on top. Both of these guys move. He moves there. This guy moves here. This guy moves there. Okay. This guy's going to move here. Of course, Legrand. Let's see. He's going to move there. Okay, so they are finished. Let's draw another cube. And the cube is, oh, it's a green. Okay. So, let's take a look here at the situation, especially over here. Okay, so, let's see, I haven't moved a Bagravat. He can still move, and I think I want to do that because I want to get in position to okay, so this unit is actually just going to back up right there. This guy can't move forward, but this guy could actually join this guy. And I think he will. So he's going to stay there. This guy's going to move to here. This guy moves to here. That guy stays there. To protect that artillery, and so they're done. And so Bagravat does not have any more activations. Okay. Next cube is a blue. A blue. All right, so I don't know. Do we want to move? Guard, of course, can't move. Do we want to start moving Augure's forces, his corps, at any point? Do we want to move Grouchy? What is Grouchy? Grouchy, second Dragoons. He has a hold, so he's not going anywhere. The other ones have holds, so they can't go anywhere. Guard has a hold. The 4th Corps Cavalry. Okay, of course they have a hold, so I couldn't have moved them either. So if I move anybody, it's got to be. Well, I didn't give them orders. How come I didn't give them orders? I didn't give the 1st or 2nd Division orders. They would have had just defend orders. So let me see here. I would have just have to give them defend. And that would have cost 2 more. Yeah, I'm looking over here and I was like, well, it doesn't seem like I've got enough of these orders over here. So if I look over here, okay, trying to avoid that light. Okay, see right here, 1st Division of 7th Corps and 2nd Division of 7th Corps. They're on the map, but I didn't give them orders. So they would have had defend orders, which means that would cost 2 more army fatigue. So I got to throw that over there. Okay, so they both have defend orders. So I'm pulled back here, and they're right there here between the 2nd, 3rd Division and the 1st Division. Well, how come they split those? Didn't just put 1st and 2nd on an edge. It's Napoleon's something. Napoleon's thinking there, I guess. Maybe he just want St. Hilaire's division over there on the flank. So I think I want to move Hadelais 2nd Division up. Okay. So who are you talking about? Right here. Hadelais or Hadelet. I think the T is silent. You know, like Chevrolet. So Hadelais. Hadelais. So we want to move. So they can move only one. So he wants to flip over. And he's going to move here. This guy flips over. He moves there. Okay. These guys are both already. So they're going to move. No, that way I'm blocking this. I don't want to block that. So I don't move this guy. These guys move up. He moves there. That's it. Okay, so that takes care of that one. Okay. All right, so we've got 3 left. So, and What? Another French. That means, okay, if we look in this cup, there's a green and a red, which means the green's not going to get played. The red is what's going to be pulled. The reds are always pulled. So, all right, so Napoleon's going to get one more activation here. And it has to be, well, I guess it's Desjardins. Okay. Guess I'm going to activate him right here, which is basically just moving Argaray, moving some of his forces. So put this guy over. Let's put him over this way. This guy's gonna flip over and go down. This guy flips over and goes down. Oh, let's see here. That's gonna put these guys, well, at the present moment they're too far away, but see if this guy moves here. They're not. So that's where this guy moves. These guys move to here. It doesn't really matter, but let's move him here. Well, we'll just move there. Okay. All right, so that's all of that. And we got only 2 left, which means we're going to pull only the red. Otherwise, they both, normally if you have 2 left, then that's it. But we're going to pull the red, and we're now going to have our simultaneous fire combat, which means we're going back over here to this side over here, and let's see, let's see this guy here. And first we need to think, okay, is there any cavalry that wants to move out of the way, evade? No, there's not. So we don't have to worry about that. I'll go ahead and put this over here. And that. All right, so we've got this unit here. I'm trying to think, is that guy right there? It can be. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think he's alone. Yeah. Okay, so that's light. All right, so that's 5. So 5 hexes away. Okay, he's going to be at strength of times 1. He's at 2. Okay. There's not going to be any modifiers because he's in line. So 6. Of course, that's a miss. There's a smoke marker on here. Show that he fired. All right, so then we go back over here, and for the French, this unit here is who's going to fire. So of course he's going to fire on that guy. Okay, that's the closest that he's got. No use firing on those artillery units. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, and he's just a single unit. So that unit's in line, 3 away, he gets times 2. So his strength is 4, and that's it. He's not heavy. 6, 9 becomes 10, and that's going to be a hit. So that unit takes a hit. And we get a smoke marker. Okay. This unit here. The only one that he can fire at is this unit, and I think he's too far away. Well, no, he can turn. So he's gonna fire right here. 5. And they are, see, both of them are light. So, but that's a range of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going, okay, so it's just going to be a strength of 4. They're in line, so no bonus. 7. It's not enough. All right, we go back over to the French, and what do we got here? So we have to come all the way over to here, and he would fire at, he's firing at this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which means he's at a half, so he's a 1. But this guy's in column, so he gets a +2. But not high enough. I only rolled a 6. When you got only a strength of 1, you got to roll like a 12. Okay. Let's go back over here. Okay, so what we have is we got these heavies. Okay, they're firing here. That's an infantry unit underneath there. So that's 7. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the person they're firing is this guy. So that's 4. He's in line, but it's +1 for the heavy artillery. Well, it's okay, yeah. 4 is going to be times 1, so that's 7. We got 8. That's a hit because the +1 is a 9. So this unit takes another hit. Okay. The smoke marker. Now I should be alternating, but I'm just going to go ahead instead of going back and forth, just stick there, because those are all going to fire on that same unit. They don't have anybody else to, well, they got this guy, but he's going to fire there too, right here too. So that's heavy again. Both of these are heavy. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, same thing. It's going to be 7 with +1. 6, 7 is a miss. Okay, now this guy's going to fire at this target here now. Okay, so we've got, that's 6. 4, so it's going to be 6. It's heavy against, oh, he's column. So that's going to be +2. So now we got a +3. Oh, we got a 10, becomes 13, and I said he's what, 6? 13 is 2 with an asterisk. And so he's got to check to stand. All right. So check to stand for this unit. Okay. Okay, he's not elite or green. He's not Russian. He's not adjacent to any eliminated or retreating units. He's not in obstructed terrain. He's not in square. Enemy cavalry is not within 3 hexes. Well, no. That's it. So he just has to get, got to get a higher than a 6. And I got a 9, so no effect on that, but he did take 2 losses, 2 losses. So, there's a smoke marker. All right, move along here. So we've got this guy. they could actually see if he's like this. Maybe he can fire here. I'm just thinking, see that right there blocks him. Even though it's not covers the hole, it's that there that blocks this guy. Now, he could turn to fire at this guy, fire here. Okay. He's gonna fire, turn and fire here. All right, so that's a 1, 2, 3, 4. So I believe he's 8. Yeah. So he's gonna be 8, strength of 8, with a +1, and with that guy in the column, that's gonna be a +2, becomes +3. And we rolled an 8, becomes 11 at what, 8? 11, so that's going to be 2 hits, 2 losses. Now the Russian artillery is starting to have an effect. All right. Now, like I said, I could be alternating, but you know, there's not any. You know, there's not any artillery over here to be firing. I mean, I could move over here to these 2 units. I think there's 2. Yeah, they're both field, right? Yeah, field or foot. Okay, and I'll go ahead and do them. So, well, that's a horse artillery. So that one could only go a range of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't reach there. So I don't know. Why did I have them firing? They're kind of useless right there. Now they could fire here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here, because there's a infantry unit underneath. So that's where they're firing. So at 6, though, it's going to be half strength. So they're, instead of being 4, they're going to be at 2. And that's it. So they're going to have to roll pretty high. I rolled an 11. That might be enough. Yes, 1 hit. So there's a hit on that unit. All right. So I got to put a smoke marker on that one. Smoked. And let's see, I go back over here to the Russians, and they are going to unleash on that unit. So that's 1, 2, 3, and this guy is 8. Okay, that's going to be times 2. That's going to be 16. He's heavy, that's +1, and that guy's in column, so +2 is +3. And I rolled a 9, 10, 11, 12 on the 15, 18 column. 3 hits and a roll to stand. He just about got blasted, half of him got blasted away. This is what I'm talking about when the artillery starts firing, coming your way. That's heavy artillery blasting into him. All right, so he's got to roll to stand. He's not going to be a lead or green. He's not Russian. None of that other stuff happened. Cavalry, not close. So he just got to get above a 6. And he got a 7. Ooh, barely. Okay, so we've got a, there we go. Smoke marker on that one. And I could come back over. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. So come back over to this guy here. They're both field or foot. I guess they're called foot. So they've got a range of like 8. Yeah, 8 hexes. And let's see, we could fire. Yeah, he can fire at this cavalry unit right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's going to be half. So he's going to be at 2. And there is no modifier for firing at cavalry. So I'm going to have to get an 11 or 12 to get a hit. Oh. And I should have rolled the blue dice, but there we go. 12. So we got a hit. A hit on that cavalry unit. Those lancers. All right. So smoke marker. All right, so we come back over here to the Russians. We've got these heavy guns right here. They're going to unload right there. 1, 2, 3. So that means that's going to be 16 again. +1, +3. So, oh, we rolled a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's still going to be enough for a hit, 1 hit. So this guy now has 4. Okay, smoke marker. All right, so for the French, I think that's it because, again, with only being able to fire, these guys would have to change the line if they were going to try to, really they just want to assault. They want to push those guys out. So the French don't have any more guns to fire, any more fire combat. So it's just going to be the Russians here. All right, so this unit here, he's light, so he can't reach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This guy moved in a position he could get fired on. All right, so that's 6. It's going to be half. So he's going to be firing with a strength of 1, and that guy's in column. Okay, just to show you here. Okay, it's this little line here, right here, white line there, tells you that this is a light artillery. Okay, if it's heavy, it's going to have a solid line over here, and then down here you can see if it's horse, there'll be a little horse's head right down here. Okay, between these two cross cannons. So when you hear me talk about light and horse and, like a foot, let's see. Okay, this is an example. This example of horse artillery. You see the little horse head there. This is an example of foot. There is no, line or horse head. No line on either side here of the red band. So, all right, so this battery here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, firing on that infantry in column is going to get a +2, but his strength is only 1. I rolled a 6, becomes an 8. That's not enough, so we're going to have smoke markers. Okay. And then we just move to this unit here. Okay. He could fire there, or he could fire across here. See 2. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, he's just gonna fire here at this guy. So at 5, he's just gonna maintain his strength of 2, and he does get a +2 for that being in column. Rolled a 9, becomes an 11. That's enough for a hit. So that unit takes a hit. This is where Wellington be using the reverse slope. Looking for put his men in the reverse slope. Get my men out of the line of fire. Okay, so now we would move up a little higher here, and let's see here. I don't believe this guy can fire. Well, he might. I think. Well, see, he would be fire. He would have to fire at somebody here, not there. This guy could turn and fire. This guy could probably turn back. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. All right. So, but this guy can fire here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do with the red one. There it is. There is a red. That might be the one I was using. Okay, so that's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's just going to be 6. And that guy's in line, so it's just going to be 6 with no modifiers. Oh, we rolled a 10. That should be a hit. Yeah. 1 hit. 1 loss. Okay. Smoke marker. All right. And then we move. Put a smoke marker on the wrong guy. There we go. So now we move over here to, again, this Russian unit in that terrain, village, and he's got 2 targets. Okay, and let me look at this again. Okay, yeah, if he's in obstructed terrain, a max is 2 strength points. So he has to fire 1 strength point at the red and 1 strength point at the orange. That's the rules if he's got more than 1 target. So those guys are both in columns, so he's going to get a +1. And I just rolled 2 6s again. So at 14, that's going to be another hit on this unit here. So he's going to have a 3. Okay. And the other one, 4, 5, 6, not enough. So of course I put a smoke marker on him, but I'm not going to. Alright, let's put that over there. And then we pull back And let me go through here and move these smoke markers. Need my tweezers. Alright, so that's the smoke markers removed. Now we have, that's the end of first turn. So the Russians had one activation cube that was left in the cup that didn't get used. So look across here. The French made some progress on this flank over here with their attack. Now, Davout, part of his corps will be arriving this next turn, and they're going to be arriving along this edge here. There's actually, I guess, two French flags here. You can see one of them there and there. I guess that's the area in which they have to come. They have to come in between there. So if I look at the scenario book, okay, and open that up. Let me put this down. There we go. That's the picture of the battlefield there. All right, so at 9 a.m., we have the 2nd Division of 3rd Corps, which is going to be Friant and Davout arrive, and also the 1st Division under Murat. Also, and it says anywhere along the southern map edge. It doesn't say in between those two. So anywhere. Okay, and then at 10 o'clock, the 3rd Division, the 3rd Corps, Houdin, shows up. Okay, and then at 5 p.m. we've got LaSalle with his cavalry reserve, shows up on the north edge through Altaf. And then at 5 p.m. you've got Ney and Gardena, Marchand. They show up through Altaf. And then the Russians at 1 o'clock, they've got L'Estaque coming in through Altaf. So they're going to show up before Ney shows up, or LaSalle. So that's things to watch for. But there's going to be 2 divisions coming in and to wreak some havoc on this Russian flank. So Bennigsen is going to have to. He's probably going to have to get who is this? Von Paulin? Yeah. Von Paulin is going to have to left-wing cavalry. He is going to have to get activated. So that's an order that we got. There's an order that needs to be changed right there. So on the next turn, prior to the turn starting, is when we're going to see the order changes and how all that works. Okay, so Bennigsen can change 4 orders. Napoleon can change 6, I believe. Where's Napoleon now? Yeah, 6. During normal clear turns. Okay, we have to roll to see what the weather is also. So, the weather could drastically alter plans, but the the weather roll comes before you change your orders, so you know ahead of time what the weather's going to do for that turn. So, but the Davoo is going to be showing up, and so Napoleon has pinned Bhagavat, okay, so that Davoo can come in and possibly get behind him. Okay, that's where von Paulin there is going to be important, and also the initiative, because the initiative could really break the Russians here, especially if Davoo is coming in with attack orders. So Bhagavat may need to change his orders to attack, just so that his cavalry can countercharge, reaction charge, not counter, but reaction charge. That's probably the most important aspect right at the moment, is what's going to happen over here on this, where Davoo comes in. And and later on it's going to be for the French. They're going to have to worry about Lestock coming in over here through Althoff right here. He's going to arrive before Ney or Lasalle. Lasalle comes first with his cavalry, and then Ney will come in with his corps. But Ney comes in, it's 5 p.m. There's only 2 turns after that. So, I don't know how much Ney will be able to do, besides maybe trying to get in behind and maybe capturing some possibly some objectives here. He's not going to be able to get, I don't think very far over there, unless he's like trying to use strategic movement, but he would have to use there'd have to be a cavalry that would have to be sent out to do that. But see, cavalry can't get it. They can't get. They're not going to be able to. If there's not a road, in that village, then they can't enter it. So they can't capture. Cavalry can't be sent out to capture objectives. Unless there's a road going through it. So I see a couple of villages don't have a road. So, but the danger is the stock coming in here with his Prussians and hitting the French wing, just like the French are going to hit this wing over here on the south side. So I like the orders, okay, and the way they give you they gave you the charts to use, and I like the block system with the fatigues, because slowly you're losing your fatigue. It's much like GMT's Great Battles of History, keeping up with the route points, but of course this is more than just routed units. It's going to be orders of attack and move and things like that are going to cost you, because your army is wearing down as they're performing those actions, I could even see possibly, for each activation that you could, that would have to be, maybe that's too much of a loss, because I'd use 6 attack orders, okay, but it did cost me 4 cubes, 4 army fatigues to do those I had 2 attack orders, but I attacked 6 times, or had the opportunity to attack 6 times. You know, I spent 6 attack orders, in other words, and it cost me 4 total. So, you know, I guess it's kind of, you know, that's factored in. So, no need to really make any changes there. That kind of makes sense. If we look, the Russians have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 batteries. That's 8 army fatigue cubes. So, and the French have not lost any. As of yet. And it's just such an appealing map to look at, in my opinion. Makes you feel like you're, you know, if it was cold in here, really cold, then it would make me feel like I'm in the snow, you know. But that there is the overall map of the situation. Really, we got an hour that's passed, and we've had, you know, quite a few losses, strength point losses due to artillery fire. For the French have lost quite a few strength points due to artillery fire, but of course the Russians have lost all these guns from the French attacks from 2 different divisions, infantry and a cavalry. And of course the Saint Hilaire's infantry have done pretty much, well, they've done all of the capturing of the guns, or forcing guns to retreat, so forth. So this is where we're at the end of the first turn. So you've had an opportunity to see units moved around, the orders given at the beginning, the use of the activation cubes, the simultaneous fire, assaults, some charges, artillery fire, defensive fire, so kind of the whole gambit. Okay, the only thing now will be you're going to see the commanders moving around the map so that they can get to locations where they can change orders. And this is going to be very important for the Russians because of the danger of their left flank over here. They've got to get this cavalry division here, you know, over here on the flank to hold that flank over there. So, and of course, they really can't be pulling units out of here in the middle to run over and help guard that flank, you know, because then that's going to weaken this center right here that the French could push through and basically separate the Russian army. All right, so we got any questions about anything that's happened so far in the first turn? Then send me a comment, or you just want to say something. I'm enjoying this this new game, and the uniqueness of some of the rules and things, because there are some differences between this and some of the other Napoleonic tactical games. This is a tactical game, not an operational. But of course, you know you're talking about regiments. That's the same size that Viva la Emperor, Viva la Emperor uses. So, okay, the next video will be the start of turn 2, and I suggest that you go check out soundoftdrumsgames.com, see what else they've got. Check to see when another volume of the Battles of Napoleon will come out, and also to get a look at Chessex online. Check them out, chessex.com. And don't forget, we're going to have a giveaway of 3 sets of Polyhedra 7 dice sets. Those are the 3, and I'll have a question in the last video that you have to come up with the correct answer for. I'll put names in a cup and draw out 3 for the winners and send them their dice free of charge. Won't have to pay shipping or anything. Just have to provide your address. I'll send it to you, and that'll be that. So don't forget about that. And I guess I'll see you in the next video. I really appreciate your support. I know a lot of people may not watch these videos all the way through, but hey, if it's helping you at all, then I'm doing my job. And I do this for fun, but I also do it to help the gaming community, and hopefully I can help Uwe with some sales. Hopefully he can get some more customers, because they come and watch my videos and say, hey, that looks like a fun game to play, and it looks like a game that's not complicated, that's it's a fast-paced game. And this could be, if I'm face to face, this would be a faster paced game. It would not take 3 hours to play the rest of this turn as it has. Of course, a lot of this is yik-yakking, but it's a beautiful looking game. And not only that, but the components are top notch. As I've already said, the cubes, the charts, there's sturdy charts here. That's me tapping that. See right there, I'm tapped. This is thick, and it's got a nice feel to it. And the counters were easy to punch out. The maps have a nice texture and feel to them, and so do the operational charts there that I showed in the last video. And of course, they also give you counter trays with the lids, and like I said, you got to be. I put all of the hit markers there, so there's so many of them, and then I was able to put everything else in here. And you just have to stack them in there, like I have with these. They got to be stacked in there tight, but they fit. So, and of course, it comes with nice dice, not little bitty ones, but unique dice. You've got 2 green, 2 blue, and of course, they've got the image here for the number 6, which is unique. So there's not some dice thrown in there. So check out Uwe's game site. There's a lot of different links. You can find them all at soundoftdrumsgames.com. Check out Chessex, and then come back to my channel and look at some other videos, some other games that I've already played through. I've got a lot of games over. Let me turn here. And I've got so much stacked around right now. I'm kind of like, whether I want to show you that or not. Okay, but I've got quite a few games stacked here that I need to play. Atlantic Chase. I've got the Hunted over there. Of course, there's the La Bataille de Hanu, not Hanan, but Hana, Troyes Batal, in Alamein, and Quatre Batal in Espinay, Spain. Okay, that's another series that I really like from Legion Games. Of course, you can see that the gamers are MMP's Civil War brigade system. And then if I look over here, there's all kinds of different ones there. Of course, I've got the old Pacific War down there. I've got the old version. But there's the Talavera. That's the Gamers Napoleonic Brigade system. And then, of course, I've got the GMT Austerlitz. And then there's the Eagles system series. I've also got the Quatre Bras and the Austerlitz. Like, where are they at? I've got in my closet, I've got some more. And I've also down there, I've got some Unmatched. I like the Unmatched. I played that with some family members during the 4th of July holiday. So, and I've also got the, what is it, it's the horror genre. I played one already, horror genre where you're, it's a solo. Can't think of it, but there's a lot more Chesic dice there, as you can see. So, but and a lot of other things there. Star Wars. My favorite was is of course the Empire Strikes Back. So that's what those two have to do with. That's a whole different topic. So, okay, so back over here. Already just playing one turn, I like this system. Okay, and is it perfect? No, but none of the other ones are either. There's always going to be something that I think, well, maybe this should be this way. But I understand. Why the rules are this way or that way, and the different viewpoints and so forth. So I understand it. But maybe do I agree with it, all of it? No, but I don't. It's not my game. I didn't design it. But just because I may disagree with this or that doesn't mean I can't enjoy playing it. And I don't have any big, no big disagreements. I would just like wondering about the cavalry units and their ability to reaction charge only when they're under attack orders. Maybe that's something to say, hey, was that just a fluke that maybe that should have been under defend orders as well, or is there a reasoning for that? Maybe an explanation of the thinking behind that, and maybe there is, and but that would be just something that I would say, hey, what about that? But the simultaneous fire cubes, you get 2. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with not being able to fire whenever you want to. With infantry, it's they're not going to fire until they get right there up against them. And so sometimes you didn't even fire. You just, hey, let's rush in there with our bayonets and try to move those units back, get them to retreat. So what it does is it creates chaos and unexpectedness, and I like that, especially for this battle. With the wintry conditions and so forth, and heck, the weather probably affected the reliability of the weapons. Maybe the trigger, froze, and they couldn't pull the trigger, or it's just other issues, powder getting wet, and so forth. So I think that could be maybe some. I haven't heard of anybody saying, "Well, I don't know if I like the fire cubes," but I could see people saying, "Well, I don't like that, this or that." Um, and I like the fact that for the way the assaults are done. Okay, that you're either going to get in there or you're not. And if you're able to force them to retreat, then they're going to take some losses, which are going to occur because they're running away and they're going to be shot and maybe stabbed in the back as they're trying to flee. Or just because, hey, when you start to move back, guys are going to take advantage of that and run for the hills. So when that causes some chaos. So that kind of a lot is similar to the in certain aspects to the Gamers Napoleonic Brigade series. I think I really thought that their assault or melee segment of combat was unique, and this is too. There's a lot of keep using unique. There's a lot of fascinating different ideas on how to I guess control different aspects of a battle. Just the things like keeping track of the condition of the army, and the army fatigue. I think is pretty important in the ability of an army to continue to fight. And it's more than just losing troops and morale. It's also you got tired. So I like that. I just like this game. The components I just keep coming in here and looking and saying, man, that looks so good on my table. And just it does. It's just a wonderful game to look at. Looking at these charts that you have to place your orders and to put your fatigue cubes and finding out the information there's right there for the different orders. What the initiative you're going to get, how much the fatigue it's going to cost, and then whether or not your cavalry can charge during that. And if you notice, the only yes on there is attack. So there's some reasoning behind that. Now, do I know what that is? No, but maybe I need to look at the designer notes to find out. So I'll take a look at that and see. And also I want to look to see where Lawns is at. But where's he at? I'm trying to think. I don't recall he must have been somewhere else. He's not here. Like I said, he's around till 1809 at the Battle of Wagram, or Wagram. I say Wagram, it's Wagram. So, but anyways, I'm babbling on here. So that's what we got going on. We're going to have Davout show up, and that the French are going to use Davout coming in early. They're not going to wait too long. First couple of blue cubes, Davout's coming, and the sooner he comes in, the less likely that the Russians are going to be able to get anything over there to really stop him. And with the terrain that's over here, cavalry is not probably the best choice because of the woods over there. They can't charge into the woods, and so they're pretty much useless over there where the woods are at. And so, in Davout, he's that's an infantry corps. Yeah, he'll have some cavalry and some artillery, but he's infantry. So use those woods to his advantage, and he could get in here behind and possibly take some of these objective hexes pretty easily. Not only that, just getting behind the Russian army and causing some major issues. So, and that's going to happen next turn. And so, I missed a smoke marker here. There we go. Again, it's just a beautiful map with the counters. I personally like the NATO symbol counters. That's the same thing with the gamers, not Civil War, but the Napoleonic Brigade system. And I know with that system, there was a lot of complaints about that. They thought that it could, really, la bataille that's what, should be used. And I like the NATO symbol. I guess that's the term. That's the term that I know that is called for the symbols for like cavalry and infantry. The only thing that's not used is the artillery, but this is the same similar use that that's found in Talavera for the gamers. Okay, same type of symbols, and so I know with the La Bataille, it's difficult for me. Okay, I have to really look hard at, is that an infantry or cavalry or because it's it's of course it's the dress, I call it, I guess, the shirt or the uniform front is what you have. So, which really looks nice, but can be kind of difficult to just look on the. I tell you, those pieces do look marvelous on a map. But there we go. I'm just going on and I don't need to. So come back and see turn number 2, which will be video 3. I don't know if I'll get all the way through the whole turn. It's with me doing a lot of yakking and me doing all the maneuvering and everything, and also I have to do my thinking about what's the best thing to do here. But come back to my channel, Sons of Liberty 75, here on with 82 Game and 12, and check out Eylau 1807, a Uwe Walentin design. Come check it out.